All right, welcome back to Hannity. Hollywood hypocrisy on display once again. Actor Matt Damon is the latest star to take on the mantra, do as I say, not as I do. Now, the left-wing star, who passionately supports public schools and gave this rah-rah speech advocating for the public system back in 2011, has now decided to enroll his kids in private schools. Told the Guardian newspaper that it was a big, big decision, but that the public schools are just not, quote, progressive enough. All right, that hypocrisy is laughable. My next guest is waiting eagerly to respond because after Damon's 2011 school speech, Michelle Fields had this confrontation with the Hollywood star in his own mind. Take a look.
Do you think job insecurity is what makes me work hard?
Well, you have an incentive to work harder, but if there's job security...
Be an actor. It's not an incentive. That's the thing. See, you take this MBA-style thinking, right? It's the problem with ed policy right now. There's this intrinsically paternalistic view of problems that are much more complex than that. It's like saying a teacher is going to get lazy when they have tenure. A teacher wants to teach. I mean, why else would you take a salary and really long hours and do that job?
10% that are bad, though? 10% of teachers are bad.
Where'd you get that number?
I don't know. 10% of people in any profession maybe should think of something else. Right?
Well, okay, but I mean, maybe you're a cameraman. I don't know.
Here with reaction from Next Generation TV, Michelle Fields, Democratic strategist Mark Hanna. Good for you. A. B. What a phony. He loves the public school. Send your own kids there, Maddie. Send them over.
He loves talking them up, but he doesn't want to send his kids there. Look,
right.
You know, he says that he didn't have a choice. He had to do this. Actually, yes, he did have a choice. The people who don't have a choice are the rest of Americans who don't have Matt Damon's bank account and can't afford to send him to a private school. Look, the schools right now in America are segregated. They're no longer segregated according to the color of one's skin. They're segregated according to one's zip code. If you don't have a lot of money and you're not in a district with great schools, you don't have access to quality education. I think that's a tragedy.
You know, look at the numbers in New York, Mark. They have a graduation rate at below 50%.
Yeah,
that's how bad it is.
I agree. We have two Americas, to bring back an old argument when it comes to education in this country. And you know what, Matt? Those people that can't afford private school at least have somebody like Matt Damon advocating for them.
Oh,
no, seriously. I'm serious.
Come on, come on.
Look, every few years this argument comes up, and then Republican politicians, Democratic politicians get skewered. Chris Christie had the best response to this because he's trying to improve public schools in the state of New Jersey, but sends his kids to Catholic school. So what he said is he wanted to find
choice. Why isn't Matt Damon for choice? Him and his wife had the choice.
He's for finding a school that aligns with his family's values. It's a personal decision.
And that is school choice.
Look, I think this country has a long legacy
she's
of
bringing up a point you're ignoring.
Yeah, because
why not give every American choice?
That's a side argument. All we're talking about is
because Matt Damon said he didn't want to send his children there because it was it wasn't progressive enough. Well, what about Americans who think the public school system is too progressive? What if they want a school that has Christian values? They can't send their kids there.
This country has a long legacy of having strong public. Let me do it. Public institutions alongside private institutions. Is it hypocritical for a city official here in New York who wants a safe and efficient public transit system to take a town car or take a taxi cab?
We're talking about school systems.
He can send his kids to private school and still be for public schools. Shouldn't we all want public schools that we can send our kids to?
That's a crock.
Why?
You know it's a crock because it's just it's such a weak argument. Listen,
I agree with Michelle on something. I agree with accountability and education reform. I agree with school choice to a point. To a point. And the Obama presidency has been very vigorous in education reform movement with Arne Duncan.
The kids that are suffering the most are kids that are in inner cities. Yeah, so
I agree with that.
So why not? Don't they deserve?
I think they deserve not getting their schools divested from. I think they deserve schools where they
throw more money at them.
Look, the thing Matt Damon said that I think was really smart is that teachers want to teach. Nobody's there to get rich. We all know teachers that we grew up with and were inspirational to us.
Great teachers and they're lazy teachers.
Yes,
there's horrible teachers.
And the unions and the good teachers are unfortunately protecting the bad teachers.
But the Republican point here is that most teachers, or it takes a perspective that teachers are default bad.
No, no one's saying that.
Or lazy, as you say.
You gotta go.